What's up, people? IOBA, my name is TC, and this is the Awareness Channel. So we got a situation out in Cincinnati, Ohio, out near Cincinnati, Ohio, where a young man, 18 years old, is shot by the police. No, nothing new because the police take people out every day in this country, especially black people. That's one of the things that we need to be working on rectifying. A young man named Ryan Hinton, is shot by the police while running away from the police. Now, they said he had a gun. They always say he has a gun. The police body cam kind of says otherwise. But yeah, that's what happened. They opened fire on him and they killed him. I'm not sure what happened to the other three guys. I'm imagining they caught them. But this one young man, you know, was killed. And they had a news conference and they showed a body cam after they did the edits and everything to make it look like it was justifiable shoot. I don't know. I don't know. The next day, however, Ryan Hinton's father, a man named Rodney Hinton Jr., and runs over a sheriff's deputy, an officer. I'm thinking it's the first one he saw. I'm thinking it's because he knew his son. And yeah, 18-year-olds do crazy stuff, but it is not, and I said this a bunch of times, and other people have said it a bunch of times, it is not up to the police to play judge, jury, and executioner in them streets. It's just not. Now, I don't know if Mr. Hinton, the elder, ran over this officer in retaliation or on a revenge thing. I don't know what's going on in his head. I can only speculate, and my speculation says to me that yes, that's what he did. Now, I think that when he go to prison, because he gonna go to prison, that he gonna be all right in prison. He may never get out, but he gonna be all right. The whole thing is this: at the end of it all, there's a war starting up. The police versus the citizenry. The police versus the citizenry. Now, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I do know that black people will get in the streets about this kind of thing. The politics, the Donald Trump tariffs, and uh, the trying to erase our history and all of that, that probably won't bring us in the street. They've been trying to do that shit for decades. But when you start openly murdering young men in the street and shooting people down like dogs like this, it's easy for people to get out in the street and start tearing shit up. Now, I don't want to see that happen. I really don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see cities burned down and riots and shit in the street. I don't want to see that. But that don't mean it ain't gonna happen. I didn't want to see Donald Trump back in the White House. But there he sits. And this is of this is symbolic of the direction that the country is going in. This ultra right wing fascist direction that the country is going in. All because you got a criminal in charge. And if you got a criminal in charge, everybody working for him and thinking like him is going to think it's okay to do criminal shit. I mean, for them. But anybody else, no sin. I mean, because they got Rodney Hinton in court during his arraignment. And at that arraignment, the whole courtroom fills up with police. Now, they call themselves being there, in solidarity. But what they're really there for is intimidation. Because if they could, they would kill Mr. Hinton. They would literally beat him to death right there in the courtroom if they thought they could get away with it. And they would feel justified in their heart and in their mind for doing it. Because they feel like he killed one of theirs. But Mr. Hinton feels like y'all killed one of mine, my flesh and blood, my son. And like I said, if you look at the video, it don't look like to me that young man had a weapon pointed at that officer. It don't look like that to me. If somebody running from you, to me, shoot him because you can't catch him. I mean, hell, you're going to catch him eventually. You're going to catch him. To catch him, so they shoot him. They're too lazy to run after him, so they shoot him. And everybody and their mama gonna get behind you now, because that is the culture that we in. That's the type of leadership we got. That's the type of unrestricted law enforcement we got, where they can shoot you down like a dog in the street at will. And if you try to take any kind of retribution or any kind of revenge, now they want to wipe out the rest of your family. Because they don't see you as their equal. They don't see you as a human being. They see you as who needs to be put down. They don't do this kind of shit to white people. White people can go up in the school, and a white boy, 2 weeks ago, I think it was, went up in the school, did a school shooting, took out some people. They took him alive. He in jail waiting on trial. When they want to do shit the right way, they could do it the right way. But joyriding in a stolen car, and they weren't joyriding, they were sleeping, according to what the report said. But joyriding in a stolen car should not result in a death penalty. They said he had a gun. They always say a motherfucker got a gun. They showed a picture of a gun. Who knows where the fuck that gun came from? Another point that's fucking with me is, your children. If your son is this thugged out young man that you can't do nothing with and he get killed in the streets, you're going to grieve for him. But in your heart of hearts, you knew that was the type of life that your son was living, and you're not going to go out there and try to murder somebody in revenge when you know your son wasn't living right. If you got a regular teenage boy who just did some mischief or was with the wrong crowd, but like, what was that boy named? Jordan Peterson? Name, I'll have to look it up. I think that was his name, though. That little boy here in Jacksonville that got shot at the gas station. for playing loud music. If you know you got a good son, in other words, not a perfect son, but a good son, and your son gets shot down in the streets, unarmed, by the police, you're going to want to take action on the police. It's bad. If your son is out here doing fucked up shit and he catches the wrong end of a bad decision, then you kind of understand. You hurt, you grieve, but you kind of understand. My son was out there doing XYZ, this is what happened to him. But if you know you got a good average teenage boy, sometimes he make bad decisions, sometimes he do, stupid shit, but he's basically a good boy. And he get gunned down by the police, well, then you're going to feel totally different. And you might take action yourself. The police and law enforcement in general need to understand that some people, after you take somebody, from them, they start to not care about their own situation. They just want revenge for what you did. They'll go out there and do something, and they know that they're not going to come back from it either. But at least they got one of y'all. That's how they feeling. They'll go out there and do something, but at least they got one of y'all. That's how they're feeling. Room fill up with police officers to try to, they say show support, but it's really, like I said, it's really just intimidation tactics. Because I swear I know a bunch of cops and that's how they think. Intimidation action. In order to justify some shit that they did. It's going to be a long, hot summer. It's going to be a long, hot summer. And I don't know how long black folks going to stay out the streets. But like I said earlier, if anything will bring black people back into them streets, like in 2020, it'll be this kind of stuff right here. Anyway, that's it for now, y'all. Thanks for coming by and checking with me. Hit the subscribe button on your way out, and I'll catch you on the next one. TC, and I'm out. Peace.